Okay, boys, what's the lead? All hail the new king, isn't it?
Mate, I love the name. Go the Fro. Matt King is going to replace Laurie Daley. Good on him.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Adrian?
I'm very interested to talk to you guys about what that means for Ivan Cleary, who has said that he wants to be a representative coach as well.
That's the lead.
Yes.
Because he's left a bit out in the cold.
I'm Christian Nicolussi.
I'm Adrian Proszenko.
And I'm Neil Breen, coming to you from the newsroom of the Sydney Morning Herald. This is 4020, your press pass to all things rugby league. Stacks of topics on the agenda today, but we are going to start with Matt King. Look, it was this strange situation where Laurie, everyone knew he wasn't going to coach, but then it dragged on and there was stories and Laurie was getting angry about stories. But in the end, Laurie didn't want to coach next year. He pretty much endorsed Matt King, who's a former Blues star, played a lot of rugby league. The big afro doesn't have it anymore. Everyone knew that he was going to get the job, and finally we got it. We can move forward.
Speaking of the Fro, he's 45 years of age, but apparently he said if he can grow his hair, he'd actually get the Fro back. So it's not,
Really?
he's not follically challenged. No. Great appointment. He's been given a 2-year contract. Of course, if he wins a series in 27 or 2028, it automatically executes his third year for 2029. You're right, the Rusk. You hinted at it. What that means for Ivan Cleary moving forward.
Yeah.
Of course, he's quit Penriths. He's made his intentions clear that he loved
To coach
nothing
rep
more
football
to
after
coach rep footy.
27.
If everything goes to script for New South Wales and Matt King, Ivan at the very earliest will be waiting until 2030 when his young bloke is going to be turning 33.
I always thought, just quickly, I always thought, Adrian, that the Kangaroos job would be good for Ivan.
That's exactly where I was going. That's put some pressure on Kevy for this World Cup. Massive World Cup coming up at the end of the year. New Zealand, Tonga, Samoa, they're going to field very strong.
Size.
Even England as well will field very strong teams. The expectation always is that Australia must win. If they don't, he won't be there next year, and all of a sudden, Ivan Cleary will be twiddling his thumbs, just waiting for the phone call.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. Just quickly on Matt King's pedigree, because people are going, hang on a second. Coaching Origin, it's a big leap, but he's been an assistant coach at the NRL level for a long time.
Yeah,
Nico?
10 years at the Roosters.
10
and
years.
of course he goes with Trent Robinson's blessing. He's been around the New South Wales
So
setup
that's
for
it,
the
he's
last
out
few
of
years.
the Roosters next year.
He's out. It's a
Full-time.
full-time gig. He has to part ways. Of course, he told the boys at training at the start of the week, Lindsay Collins, Sammy Walker, Rob Toyer, the Queensland brethren, they basically gave him a big cuddle and said, good luck, son. Do your best. He's a great media talent, and all my dealings with him in New South Wales camps, he's always front of the cameras the day of the game for the pre-game sort of chat.
Yeah.
The assistant always takes the
that,
hit up.
yeah.
He's just been very articulate with the media. He's very popular with the players. He's a lateral thinker. And he's done I think he referred to the term his unofficial advisory board, which is Craig Bellamy, Craig Fitzgibbon, Michael Maguire, and Trent Robinson, 4 coaches, 4 of the best, really, that he's been able to sort of do his apprenticeship. I think he's a great appointment.
Can I just say that it adds a real layer of intrigue to the next State of Origin series in that these are the blokes that are getting talked about as the next Melbourne Storm coach. So we don't know how long Craig Bellamy's going to go on. You would think that if Billy Slater wanted the Storm job, that it would be his, but perhaps he doesn't want to do that full time. And Kingy has also been in that Storm system. They like to appoint one of their own, someone who understands the culture and the DNA of the club. So all of a sudden, whoever wins that series, their stocks will rise when it comes to that Storm conversation.
The interesting thing is King and Slater are really good mates. And the first bloke he rang was Slater.
He rang him at 9:30 on Monday night. He said, listen, I want you to know that I want you to get the news first before it becomes official. Billy called him back on the Tuesday morning. He said, mate, good on you, mate. We actually asked Matt King at the press conference. Of course, Billy, they've grown up together. I think when they used to do road trips when they were playing together at the Melbourne Storm, they used to be roommates. But we had to confirm whether or not, with all these dealings and going to Billy's house, whether or not, in fact, Billy Slater lived in a glass house. Of course, the
Michael Maguire
throw-off
glass
term.
house.
And all Matt King said, listen, I think Billy's doing well. He's moved on from the little terrace he was living in at Richmond all those years ago.
Can I just say, how would you be feeling if you're Brad Fittler? Like he wanted to do the job again, but wanted it full time, and they said it's not going to be. Yeah. And now we've decided it's a full time job.
I can answer that question, Rusk. Dave Trodden was asked that very question about the full time, part time job. Can you please explain? I think what it came down to was Brad Fittler had his media commitments to Channel 9, and therefore he couldn't make himself available on a full-time basis. I think it's always been a full-time role for someone that's available 24/7. Brad wasn't, therefore he was going to be paid accordingly.
It's either a full-time job or it isn't. Like,
That's just me explaining the situation.
I know, but Laurie didn't do it full-time either because he had a job. So anyway, we'll move on. It is what it is.
Just a fun fact.
The great thing is Laurie can bow out a winner. He had a tough time as Origin coach. He won that last series. It's given him 20 years worth of speaking circuit
good on him.
Work.
Well
as the
done.
winner.
It's unreal.
There's no way that he should have gone back and done it again next year. So good on him.
Brenny Matt King has to step away from the Sydney Roosters, but unfortunately for all the young teenage girls at the Maroubra Saints AFL club, where he's been working part-time as a defensive coach, unfortunately he's going to have to give up that role as well.
Oh, really? Fair dinkum.
He was doing... tipping it wasn't as paying as well as the Sydney Roosters or the New South Wales Blues, but
good on him.
Maroon Spies might be watching their, defensive techniques or something.
Right, we'll move on. We'll move on from Origin. We'll put it in the past. We'll get into it again next year. Okay, Adrian, you're off to Perth this week. The Perth Bears are going to unveil their jersey on Friday.
Yep.
I want to hear from both of you. What are you expecting in this jersey?
red and black.
Yeah, there's going to be a massive nod to the tradition of North Sydney.
Bears.
Yep, there has to be.
Because the logo is very North Sydney Bears.
Yep. But we don't know. We haven't seen it. So that's the beauty. We'll have a jersey reveal, and it'll be an opportunity for me to go over there and have a look at what the setup is on the ground.
Yeah.
What I'm really interested in chatting to Mal Meninga about is what's the sell? Like when a prospective player is off contract, the club's interested. Like we saw with the Dragons, they flew Keon Kalamatangi in a helicopter, or you hear stories about the Storm will get, if there's a young bloke, they'll say, well, they'll find out where he likes to eat, what he's comfortable with. If he's got a favourite player at the Storm, they pick him up at the airport. I want to know from Woe to go, what does that look like? If you are interested in Perth, when they pick you up from the airport, where do they take you? What do they show you?
I'd be showing you Cottesloe Beach. I'd take you to Lake Carrinyup Golf Course.
The vineyards would be
go
nice.
for a feed over at the Crown.
You know what my favourite is? The Ezra Pound, a great little bar on Northbridge. Outstanding. Just go straight there.
I knew it'd be a bar. But I think the jersey and the look will be very, very close to North Sydney. It won't be that North Sydney one with the white on it. It'll be really red and black because Peter V'landys has been, this is the Bears, right? This is the Bears.
And you want to feel those North Sydney fans, those rusted-on North Sydney Bears fans, they want to feel a part of the journey. So you've got to have a nod to the past.
And it's going to be a pretty big deal on Friday. There's a lot of people going over.
Heaps. So Peter V'landys will be going over there. The Premier, Roger Cook, will be there. There'll be other dignitaries. And there's also 2 NRL teams in town because, of course, Melbourne is playing Manly
on Saturday.
Yep. So
HBF Park.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Okay, good stuff. Now, with this expansion teams, right? So we're just mentioning the Perth Bears. Okay, we saw the Cowboys beating 82-12, but the Cowboys have been okay this year. They've been up and out. They just fell out on the weekend because of Canterbury's got on this winning streak. But even if you put the 82-12 aside, the Dragons are uncompetitive. 2-22 in their last 24 games.
They've been competitive. They've been getting regularly.
But they're uncompetitive because they can't win.
Yeah.
They can't win. Parramatta, look, they made the grand final in 22, but they're struggling. West Tigers are dreadful. How do these teams ever get out of it when those 2 new teams are pulling players and there's going to be a third team? Do we have players for 20 teams? You start.
Well, I think that the Dragons are an anomaly in that you can no longer buy your way out of trouble. I think Daniel Anderson's done a phenomenal job.
They're getting some signings for next year.
Some terrific signings. They've got half a dozen top flight players that are coming to the last place club. But generally speaking, you can't do that, especially now that we've got Perth coming in and no other team can compete with PNG when it comes to tax-free dollars.
That's monopoly money.
It is.
They're dead set playing
so
with
you
monopoly
can't
money.
buy premierships, and if you're at the bottom of the cycle, it's going to be so much harder for you to get back into top 8 contention.
We've touched on this issue a few times. How you introduce Perth next year, PNG in 2028, and potentially a team from the South Island and New Zealand for 29 or 30 is beyond me. I covered that Sunday game between the West Tigers and Parramatta, and I'm telling you now, that has to be one of the worst games I've ever seen in my entire journalistic career.
I was there too, Nico, for the continuous call team, and then I was watching the game. And
it wasn't NRL standard. I'll tell you what we should have done. We should have got rid of the commentary and just played the Benny Hill theme music all the way for the 80 minutes because that would have been more fitting for that standard of football. But that standard is so low, I'm so worried that we're going to be spreading the talent pool it's going to be even thinner.
Nico, there's a financial imperative to go to 20 teams. So we know that. It's been revealed.
That was your story on Sunday, Adrian.
Yeah, so basically, $20 million comes out of the broadcast deal from 2030 onwards if there isn't a 20th team in there. So that's $120 million over the course of the next broadcast deal. They have to put a team in.
Because the 20th team... So the 18th team next year means an extra game because we're at 17 at the moment. Then the 19th team, the Chiefs, doesn't add an extra game.
Yep.
It's only when you get to 20.
Yep.
But what cost do you put? 120 million, Russian, as you wrote on the Sunday. This is what they stand to lose or gain by including that team. But when it comes to the next pay TV deal, come 2034, if we're getting blowout after blowout and teams just getting smacked every single week, that's going to impact the next
I
broadcast
agree.
deal.
The only thing I'd say in the NRL's defence is if they go into Christchurch, that's the place where the players will come from, right? They're going to come from New Zealand. We've seen the influx of Polynesian players in the NRL. That should be a pipeline not just for the Warriors, but for another team and for a lot of the Australian and PNG teams, all the other teams as well.
I'm not strong at geography, but Christchurch wollongong have a population of about Wollongong. I'm certain of it. I am worried. I know there's a lot of talent coming from New Zealand, and we've really got to tap into the Pacifica, but I just don't think there's enough talent. I don't care how much you pour into the game money-wise. Adding 3 teams, we're heading for absolute hiding.
Rightio. The top teams...
Is that too negative? We're not going to get in trouble for that, are we?
Look, I totally and utterly agree.
Sorry, NRL.
No, we're allowed to discuss these things. And look, I've been worried about it for a long time. Back rowers, the wingers, centres, you'll eventually find enough, right? They mightn't be quite up to standard. It's the halves. The halves is going to be the big thing. And then, everyone's talking about, Sam Walker, and he could sign for this much or that much. Fair income. Sam Walker, with the salary cap going up, new teams coming in, he could earn high ones. Easy. Seriously.
Good money,
but if he stays at the Roosters, he won't. But he could earn massive money.
He could potentially be, by the back end of that broadcast deal, which
$2
will be
million
back-ended and ratcheted,
Yeah.
he'll be one of the first NRL $2 million players.
Yeah, I got absolutely no doubt about it. Okay, so we're into August. It happens thick and fast now as we head towards the final. The AFL, unbelievably, has only got 2 rounds to go. But in rugby league, we've got a few rounds to go. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can read the table, boys. Okay.
I'm glad you have because I can't see it from here.
Okay, so here we go. So the Panthers are a lock. They're at number 1. Most likely finish minor premiers. There's some key games coming up. Then we've got Roosters, Warriors and Sharks. That's your top 4. 2 points behind the Sharks and the Warriors are the Dolphins. Then there's the Knights, Rabbitohs and Bulldogs. I think Can we agree that the top 4 is Panthers, Roosters, Warriors, Sharks and Dolphins out of those 5?
Yep.
Agree.
I went through the actual draw for the last 5 games. I had Penrith winning every single game, and that includes the Warriors Friday.
They will rest players. You've got to remember too.
You got to remember,
but
it's in the last round.
Top 2. They only want to finish top 2.
They'll beat the Warriors Friday. They'll beat the Roosters next week. They've got the West Tigers in the final round. My big concern is Tom Jenkins, whether or not he's on track to break Dave Brown's long record. What do we call it? What's the word?
Long-term record.
Long-standing try-scoring record. I hope he doesn't rest him and then it jeopardises that. They won't lose a game. I think the Roosters lose to Penrith. I think the Warriors lose to Penrith. And I think Cronulla win their remaining 5 games and they'll sneak into second spot.
So you think Sharks into second spot?
Yep.
Look, I reckon the way that's set
and we go to Portaloo Park.
The Portaloo Park, well, they'll argue to play there.
They'll host.
They'll argue to play there if they finish top 2. The thing is, if the Warriors finish top 2, right, and then their first week at home, then have the week off after a win, and then prelim final at home, they're looking good to make a grand final, but they've got to finish top 2.
They're the ones that really need it.
Let's go to the bottom end. Okay, so the Bulldogs and the Cowboys are now even on 26 points, along with the Rabbitohs.
And the
Seagulls are 2 points behind that. The Cowboys had that shocking loss.
The Cowboys would have been above them had they not had 82 put on them because of for and against.
I think they've got a bye coming up too, the Cowboys. They've got a bye up their sleeve. The Bulldogs look good. The Rabbitohs, I've never been convinced about them.
The Cavalry are back this week. Cam Murray's back. Tallis Duncan, David Fafita.
Need them.
They should put 50 past Parramatta. If Parramatta turn up like they did last Sunday, we could have another 82 points on our hands.
I actually don't see the top 8 changing.
You reckon the Bulldogs?
I'm putting a line through the Cowboys after that.
I think the Bulldogs leapfrog. Sorry, can I put your glasses on, Brenny? Actually, I won't. No, the Cowboys will make it. The Cowboys will replace the Rabbitohs.
Okay, you think the Rabbitohs will slide out of it? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's interesting, but I still maintain it's top 4. The rest of them are. The rest of them are keeping fans and
it's Penriths to lose.
Happy by making the 8.
It's top 1, maybe top 2 at best. If there's any premier outside of Penrith, like I'd be stunned.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunned. Which again, we talk about the depth in the competition and how bad it is at the bottom end. She's pretty skinny at the top 2.
Yeah.
Like it's been Penrith to lose all year.
Yeah.
I know we started the conversation about State of Origin, but I think the Origin hangover, this lull that we have every year after Origin, it's a bit of a come down for everyone, the players, the fans. I think this week, especially Friday night with that Panthers-Warriors game over in Auckland, this is when the whips start cracking. This is when the competition bursts back to life.
Can I just put this to you? So there was a massive blowout involving the Cowboys, and there's talk about in the next couple of weeks in dead rubber games, which will add a bit of interest to them, that maybe the NRL will look at that kickoff change and the team that's just been scored on. Do you reckon that blowout happens if we have that new kickoff rule?
I don't know, but I think the new kickoff rule stinks.
Yep.
I hate it.
Based on?
Oh, well, if you're getting pumped, it's up to you to get your defence together to stop it, to stop the momentum, stop giving away 6 agains, and then you get the momentum, the arm wrestle back.
So you're rewarding the mediocre teams.
I like you.
That's if they change it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
when the story was first floated, I love the fact that Rusk, I think, went out to a Kia promotion out west, and you got Ivan Cleary, and he actually spoke about if you change the rules.
Yes.
Sorry, just spat on your Brenny. I hope that didn't come through on the camera. You kill the comeback, and we think back to the 23 grand final. If we change the rule, Penrith are clawing their way back and producing one of the most brilliant finishes.
Kevin still be coach.
Well, he'd be an advocate.
Thank you for telling my anecdote for me, by the way.
he's an advocate for it.
There.
Oh, anyway, let's move on.
Tell me more about my interviews.
Actually, can I ask you, this is probably not on the script. Sorry, Josh, but we'll come back to it.
Yep.
82 points. Will we see 100 points scored in a game in the next couple of years? We talk about 3 clubs coming in. We're thinning the talent pool even more. Will we see 100 points?
Honestly, I reckon we will. Whether it'll be... Could be one of the new entrants when they're going through a rough patch and their depth is tested. I think we'll bet at 82.
Well, they could have got it the other night, but did they go 20 minutes without scoring at one point?
Because I had to sleep in the first part of the second
I went back
half.
on Monday night because I got bored of the Australian Story episode and decided to watch the replay and went through it very closely. The Roosters blew 2 or 3 opportunities. They could have got to 100.
They could have got there.
And what happens there? How do you celebrate? Does everyone just... They hand them bats?
Yeah,
what do they do?
They give them something.
The worst part is that happened to a top 8 contender.
I know.
Oh dear.
That was the thing that was stunning about it. Okay, who's under the pump? I'm going to say it's Manly. They had this Fosball run, and then it just stopped. It's not all over for them. Where are they there? They're on 24 points. Their Rabbitohs are in 7th on 26. So they're not out of it, but are they under the pump?
Oh, massively. Well, 2 weeks ago on this podcast, you were saying Kieran Foran is the coach of the year.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
Delete that.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
They've had a lot of injuries, though.
He's still got a 62% win rate. Like, it's been I'm not knocking him. He's got a phenomenal
he's done a great job.
year.
Done a great job.
But like with Turbo not coming back this weekend, I think they've given themselves a lot to do.
So Kieran Foran's thinking behind Tom Trbojevic. Of course, the 5-hour flight is not going to be
it's no good for his hamstring to send him over there.
But coming back the other way, they've got a 6-day turnaround with the Dolphins, so that wouldn't have been ideal as well. If they beat Melbourne, patched up Melbourne, mind you, and get the Dolphins, who I think still they can make the grand final. If they can get the Dolphins done at Brookvale, Manly are right back in it.
Isn't it funny how we can forgive the Dolphins for letting in 60-odd, but the Cows, it's like, nah, that's a bridge too far, 82.
I know, 82 is too much. Any whispers?
Yes, I've got one.
Yeah.
So we talk about Dragons and recruitment. So earlier this year, Loco Junior Pacific Tonga was so disillusioned at the club that he wanted out. And now there's been a change of coach. He's happy under Dean Young. They're talking. I'm hearing he's pretty close to an extension, which would be a massive 180. That'd be huge for the Dragons.
Did they put him in the chopper with Kalamatangi.
100%.
Actually, I've just come from Penrith. If I've got a shush, I think Liam Martin or Isaiah will be done in the next week or two.
Okay, good shushes. Thanks, boys.
Good on you, Breeny.
Thank you.
On your Rusk. Enjoy Perth. Ezra
Will do.
Pound. Get there.
4020 is produced by Josh Towers with technical assistance by Taylor Dent and Oscar Teffer and is overseen by Lisa Muxworthy and Tom McKendrick. To listen to our episodes as soon as they drop, follow 4020 wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to check out all the other great pods from the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age while you're at it. Our newsrooms are powered by subscription, so to support independent journalism, visit smh.com.au/subscribe. I'm Neil Breen. Thanks for listening.